Hey everyone, this is Dominic, the community manager at Star Atlas, and I'm going to be walking you through Sage Labs, our early access 2D browser-based game that is being built entirely on the Solana blockchain. It offers real-time gameplay with a focus on deep space, resource extraction, and crafting. Sage Labs is a simplified yet engaging introduction to the Star Atlas universe and provides you with an authentic taste of the game's economic systems and play-to-earn opportunities. It's releasing today, so let's head to labs.staratlas.com and walk you through how to play. Once you're here, choose the only game in the drop-down menu and connect your wallet. Now that we've connected our wallet, we'll need to create a character, which will ask you for your faction and the name that you want. Alright, we're in. You're looking at the Sage Labs dashboard. This is where you'll find a map of the Gallia Expanse, sectors to explore, and an overview of what your assets are doing. At the top of the dashboard, you'll also find your Atlas balance and something we're calling Atlas Prime. Atlas Prime is a solution we created so you can pay for Solana fees directly in Atlas. By default, this is enabled, but you can disable it by hitting the cog wheel. Now that we've gone over the dashboard, it's time for us to head to our faction central space station. The central space station for your faction, or Oni 1, Mud 1, or Rooster 1, are your starting zones because they're the only starbase you can deposit assets from your wallet into. I'm Oni, so I'm going to head to Oni 1 now. The first thing we need to do at our central space station is deposit ships. So click on the deposit or withdraw ships, and you should see the ships that you have in your wallet that are ready to be transferred to your central space station. I'm going to deposit a Calico Compact Hero and a Pierce X4. With our ships on our central space station, we can now form them into a fleet. Head to Starbase Hangar and press Form a New Fleet. Something to keep in mind when forming a fleet is that there is a limit to how large a fleet size can be. The larger the ship, the more fleet space usage it adds, so just make sure it doesn't surpass that limit. You can also name your fleet whatever you'd like at the top of the Form a New Fleet page. Once you select your ships and name your fleet, press Form New Fleet, and you're good to go. We now have our ships deposited and formed into a fleet. Before we leave the central space station, we need to fill our fleet with resources like fuel, ammunition, food, and toolkits. Head to my inventory and, similar to depositing ships, simply input an amount to transfer for each resource. If you don't own any resources, you can acquire them at play.staratlas.com. Start by transferring them into the central space station, and once done, send them directly into the fleet you just created. Important note here is to fill and keep track of your fleet's resource consumption. If you find yourself in the Gallia Expanse with no fuel, you'll need to self-destruct and respawn your ships at your central space station. You'll also lose all the resources in your cargo. Losing your hard-earned resources is something no one wants to go through, so keep track. Our fleet is set up, fueled, and ready to go out into the Gallia Expanse. The very last thing to do before setting out is to strategize. In Sage Labs, you can craft incredible Star Atlas loot like ships, land, and golden tickets. So make sure you look at what you want to craft in a Starbase's Starbase Crafting Workshop tab and find out what resources you need to obtain that item. Once you know what resources you need, view the sectors in your faction and look at what resources a sector has in the Mining Operations tab of each sector. So we've imported our ships, we've created our fleet, filled our fleet with resources, and we've made a plan. Now it's time to set out. In your Starbase Hangar, click on your fleet and press Undock. Once that's done, head to Undocked Fleets to see your fleets. Press the Manage Fleet button and you'll be greeted with a map of yellow symbols that represent other sectors. Click on your desired sector or tile and press Warp to travel there. This costs fuel, so remember to keep track of how your fuel is looking. Once you press Warp, you can see your fleet move in real time on the blockchain at your dashboard. Alright, so we've arrived at a new sector. Let's exit the warp for our arriving fleet by clicking Go to Asset Location on that fleet on the dashboard. Once you're there, click Exit Warp. Once you exit the warp, to start mining, head to the Mining Operations tab. From here, click on the resource and the location, and finally click Initiate Mining. Your fleet should start mining using food as the resource to do so. Click Manage Fleet from here and go to Mining Ops tab to see stats related to your mining operation, as well as the option to harvest resources and stop mining. Remember to keep track of your fuel when warping so you don't need to self-destruct and lose the resources you just mined. The last thing that's incredibly important in your crafting journey is something called a Survey Data Unit. Survey data units can't be mined and must be scanned for in the Gallia Expanse. To To scan for them, click on Manage Fleet for an undocked fleet you'd like to scan with. Head to the Sector Scan tab and press Start Scan. When scanning, you have a chance to find a survey data unit, so scan when you can. Each fleet has a scan cooldown, and scans cost toolkits to use, so you'll need to be mindful of that when farming scans. This has been a high-level walkthrough of how to play Sage Labs. All that's missing is your strategy now. If you have any questions on your journey, join our Discord at discord.gg/staratlas, where the community and team will always be around to answer them. Good luck in the Gallia Expanse.